If you cannot create 15 minutes in your time schedule, you're broken. Our society changed. The end user doesn't trust the average company anymore. We know more, we want more. You need to design your LinkedIn profile like a landing page, like a web page. You need to tell a story. You need to make it interesting. You need to make sure that people say, wow, that's a cool person.
Hello, this is a great day for us because today we have Natalia, Dr. Natalia, the international expert for personal branding. And maybe I will not introduce her, she will do it better herself. Natalia, hello.
Hello, and thank you so much for this opportunity, Martin.
Could you say what's your spécialité de la maison? What's your...
Sure. So I'm a personal branding strategist. I help coaches, consultants, experts of all sorts of types and shapes to build trustworthy, likable personal brands on LinkedIn so that people get more money and make a positive impact on the world.
So you're a right person.
Yes, I think so.
We will try today to solve the puzzle of CEO personal branding. All the pros and cons, and well, because of Simon says start with why, so let's start with why. Why CEOs should think about personal branding?
Sure, so there are a couple of reasons. First of all, I think our society changed. The end user doesn't trust the average company anymore. We know more, we want more. The way how the economy works is not that certain anymore. So I think that we need to change as businesses the way how we do business. That's the first thing. The second thing is that there's a recent study that came out, and in that study, people came to the conclusion that an end consumer, people will more likely buy from you when they have engaged with you on social media. And here comes the interesting part, when the CEO is active on social media and is very transparent, so talks about the values of the company, talks about the sustainability. So people, the end consumer is watching you as a company, but is also watching the CEO. So that's another reason. And yeah, what I think is also that you need to lead by example. If you want your employees to change, to be more active on social media, they will look at you. If you don't do that, why should the others do that?
True, very true. So employer branding.
Absolutely, yeah.
Everybody wants to do it, but not really don't know how.
Exactly.
Can you give us some examples of the best CEOs?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I love Gary Vaynerchuk. What he does is outstanding.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's great.
Hyperactive. You like it?
I think he is brilliant in the way how he leads on social media. If Gary is too much for you, you can look at a Elon Musk. You can look at a Richard Branson, also great guy. True. And I mean, in the end, you need to find out what works for you. You can only get inspired by others, but you need to find out your own vibe, your way of how you want to portray yourself, and through that, your business.
Okay, I agree. Gary was not the great example for me because he's kind of professional in the branding. This is what he does simply,
and for living.
For living, exactly. So let's move to another area. I'm a CEO. I already understood that it is simply worthwhile for me. Very pragmatic. My company will earn more. Society and all the partners, everything around me will like me more when they see me, when I'm approachable. So how do I start?
How do you start? You start with your LinkedIn profile. I think it's very important to understand that your LinkedIn profile isn't an online CV. So a lot of people still create a LinkedIn profile with, I worked from here till here, and they write the summary in the third person and 300 words, and they make it very unpersonal, they make it very, very formal, and I think that's a problem. You need to design your LinkedIn profile like a landing page, like a web page. You need to tell a story. You need to make it interesting. You need to make sure that people say, wow, that's a cool person. So this is the first point. The second point is you need to create content, and I'm sure we're going to talk about that later on. It's very important that you increase your visibility and that you build the connection through your own content, through your own values, your belief system, your updates, life hacks, business hacks, whatever. And what is also important, step 3, is actively networking. So reaching out to people and making sure that you build strategic collaborations.
Great, but what if I'm not that kind of person? I'm a CEO and I see the benefits, but I'm not open. I'm kind of, you know, a more, I don't know, Excel person or inside person. Shall this whole journey start with sitting with your, I don't know, PR and marketing department? And then another question, wouldn't be kind of faking it? Like it won't be authentic, it won't be me because somebody will tell me how do I speak, how do I dress, how do I look, etc. Because not every CEO is not like Gary Vaynerchuk. It's not like Richard Branson. So if I'm running, I don't know, medium-sized company, or even I'm the, I don't know, I'm the managing director of the international corporation, but here in subsidiary in Poland. How do I start?
Sure. First of all, you need to understand, as you said, your why. When you don't have a good why, you're not going to do it. So you need to understand why on earth will I go through this torture and pain in quotation marks. Understand the value of it first. Really understand what you can change within your company and also on the outside perception. If you haven't convinced yourself that this is a good idea, you're not going to stick to it. So this is the first thing. Understand why and actively commit to it. That's the first step. Then we need to have a look at it and say, where during the day will I carve out 15 minutes of my time so I'll be active on LinkedIn? 15 minutes. If you cannot create 15 minutes in your time schedule, you're broken. And I wasn't sure, am I allowed to swear here? You can just bleep it out.
No, we will not. I believe in authentically
expressing yourself.
Exactly.
Sure. So create these 15 minutes, make it a priority because you already know why, which, as you said, cutting costs, getting more visibility, making people like, know, and trust you, leading by example, thought leadership, all of these are reasons why you should do that. And then just do it, like literally start somewhere. And if you say that this doesn't feel right, then get a professional coach. Get somebody by the hand who teaches you everything first, takes you by the hand, and then you do that with him or with her. Or if you say that's nothing for you, get a PA, get a coach, do that together, the three of you, and then you can delegate that to your PA or VA. Or another option is doing that with your marketing department or PR department, as you said. So it's really about finding solutions instead of finding lame excuses. And it's like, I'm not that kind of person, I'm introvert, I'm too busy. These are all lame excuses based on not understanding the true value of how powerful this approach is.
People who are, you know, doing it too much. They're at the beginning, they're shy. They start slow, and then when they get it, they kind of addicted and do more and more, and that's also the risk. But I remember in one of your videos, you really nice frame it how to start with the questions. Could you remind me and us what was it?
Sure. So I believe when you say, I'm a CEO of this and this company, or when you say I'm a keynote speaker, I'm a so-and-so expert, the majority of people are like, what do you do? I don't understand it. So instead of saying I am, ask yourself, what kind of problem do you solve for whom? So what kind of problem, who's your target group, and what is the end result? So I help end consumers living happier lives through providing them with a service that makes them feel younger within 8 weeks. Wow, amazing. Now I understand what you deliver. But if you said, I'm company so-and-so, I'm the CEO of this company, I just don't get it. And I change the topic, or I say, yeah, whatever. So you need to place a hook, and you need to think out of the perspective of the end user, of the consumer. Make it easy for me and tap into my pain points. This is what it's all about.
True. This is the essence of it. But also get a questions regarding the package, because when I see you, I always see the blue glasses, your big white teeth, your smile, and I don't know, when I think about one of the CEOs in Poland, Przemek Gdański, he's always wearing a scarf. So what about, is it essential to be so consistent in terms of look? Because, for example, one day I'm with sneakers, second day I'm elegant, and I don't have this. And someday I wear contact lenses, and someday I'm doing it wrong, right? Or
no, not really. I mean, in the end, it's all about recognition value. I want to make sure that people within a second know it's me. I mean,
So
big brands do that as well, right? Big brands do it as well. I mean, when you see a golden M, you know it's McDonald's.
Yeah.
When you see a red drink, you always know it's Coca-Cola. So I wanted to create something for my brand that when people see this color, they automatically know it's me. Like nowadays, it's so crazy. Whenever somebody sees anything purple, they send me pictures on Instagram or LinkedIn. Like, for example, recently there was a gentleman who saw turquoise macarons, like the sweet, somewhere in Vienna. So he photographed it and sent it to me and said, wow, those people here already are in Think Natalia fever. And I was like, damn. Or you also know that people call me a LinkedIn unicorn. So I receive at least 2 or 3 pictures of unicorns on t-shirts, on underwear, on bikes, on whatever, because people are like, so unicorn thought about you. This is what it's all about. So you need to find a trademark or something visible on you. Once I see it, I automatically think of you. This is how you subconsciously make sure that people think of you, talk about you, like you, and eventually, this is what it's all about, work with you. Make sense?
branding.
Branding.
We have this, what you mentioned, we have it with bees, because we are share bees, and people send us t-shirts with bees, honey.
There you go.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what it's about, yeah.